Welcome back, travelers, and as you can see, we're doing War of the Spark Chunks. Let's get into it so we can get as many of these out as we can. Chapter 23, Ravnica. We basically just see Ravnica panicking as he rushes back home to his apartment and finds that it is completely empty and that Tomek is not there, and he is very worried about him. So that's basically it. Also the fact that he's been basically wasting all of his energy in his accumulator trying to get there. And that he's very upset with himself for doing that because he knows that once he gets there to Tomek, he won't be able to protect him. And turns out it doesn't even matter. So we pick up back with Teo, Rat, and Kaya. And Rat basically is like, "So, Teo, how's that scar on your head?" And he goes, "What?" And he goes like. And it turns out, in the middle of the fight, while everything was going on, Johnny's just like, and it fixed Teo's the scratch on Teo's head. And he's like, huh. So while the three of them are running through the streets, Kaya eventually is leading them into a dead end. And Rat's like, "Oh, I thought that you were taking us to like some kind of secret passage I didn't know about. I know most secret passages, but I thought maybe you're a guildmaster and you probably knew that." And she's like, "I've been a guildmaster for like 2 weeks. What do you mean?" So all of them, the three of them, they're trapped. They're trying to get into this tavern and it's not working. The door's locked. The Rat picks it. Kaya ghosts onto the other side to open it up. Nothing's really working. There's Eternals coming. They're gonna die. It's really bad. And then, obviously, someone shows up to save them. And it's only barely, because Teo has been holding up a shield this whole time to keep the Eternals at bay. Instead, what shows up, well, I guess I just have to read it. A young, callow, grinning gruel warrior cut off an Eternal's head with a long-weighted scythe. So you can see a golden trail of energy leeching off him and heading skyward in the general direction of the beacon. He was a planeswalker. So we have this guy show up and he's using a scythe, the greatest of all weapons, mind. He glanced over and cackled out, "Oi! You must be Guildmaster Kaya, the almighty ghost assassin. Lucky for you, Domri Raid was here and joined the bloody chaos." "Your Raid?" He looked immediately insulted. "Of course I'm Raid. Who else?" And he's just the most arrogant little, like, you know, like, he's the kind of, like, and so, like, he's there, he saves them, and Kaya's like, "Great, Domri Raid saved us, the guild master of the Groy." He's like, "Oi, that's right." And well, it turns out that Rat's parents are Gruul, as we know. But her dad is there with Domri Raid, and he like doesn't even realize that she's there. He's just kind of like, what? Because he can't see her either. Her own dad can't see her, which is kind of sad and very poignant. 25. Jace Bellerin. So Jace, Karn, and Teferi, they're in the middle of the whole battle. They're fighting off a bunch of Eternals, and Jace is starting to think like, well, we're actually taking out the Eternals pretty well. And more Planeswalkers keep showing up. It's not really working. This whole Bolas invasion thing isn't doing much damage. We're doing pretty okay. There's got to be something more to all this. There's got to be something that I'm missing. But what? What could it be? Why is the Immortal Sun stopping us from leaving? Why are all the Eternals easily going down? Why is Bolas up there grinning like he's winning? What's happening? Why is it happening? At the same time all that's happening, Jace is like reminiscing. He's like, "Oh, Liliana, why, Liliana? Why'd you have to be bad?" And so like, Liliana's there, she's doing her thing. Jace is thinking to himself like, I still care about her. I don't love her, but I want to see her safe. I want to help her. Jace realizes that he can't help her. He can't do anything. He's had all these responsibilities and he shirked them. He was the living guild pact before the ley lines were destroyed. He was the living guild pact. He had responsibility and a duty to all these people, but he was so focused on his own deal that he didn't realize the role he had to play. And because he failed to do that, because he failed as a leader, then all these people are in danger. The entirety of the guilds were weak enough for Bolas to take them out, and so that all these things happened because Jace was not a good enough individual. He did not do what he was supposed to do, and that is weighing very heavily on Jace at this particular moment. And while all of this is happening, Jace is just hating himself, and Vitu-Ghazi appears, a giant tree that from before that Nisa animated, just kind of lumbers into view and just sees that statue and goes, you know what, I don't like that statue. Push, and knocks the top, just topples the statue. It's like it's destroyed. It's like, wow, okay. And everybody's like, yeah, because they have a giant tree on their side that's going to change the tide. And so the tree shows up, just starts swatting away at Eternals, and then you've got the Sky Fortress doing its thing, and then the portal begins to let something else through. Once again, Jace became gradually aware of another deep pounding beat. Smiling, he turned to Nisa. Gideon said what Jace was thinking. You woke another one? Another giant tree? Another ally to take down Bolas? But Nisa was staring at the portal, and she wasn't smiling. That's when the God Eternals burst onto the scene. I'm going to put the book down because, oh my gosh, the God Eternals. So, Amonkhet, that whole thing happened. The Eternals were ravaging the land, killing everybody. There were the three false gods, basically. You had the Scarab God, the Locust God, and the Scorpion God. And the whole idea was the Scarab God was the one that created the Eternals. The Scorpion God brought down the shield, and the Scorpion God's specific purpose was to kill the other gods, the ones that were there trying to protect the people. Yet, Oketra, who was a cat-headed white god, Bantu, who was the black alligator-headed, crocodile-headed, reptilian-headed god. You had Kefnet, who was the Ibis, which is a kind of like crane kind of deal, blue god. And then, of course, you had Ronus, who was a cobra, snake-headed god. So you had all these gods. Oh, and Hazret. My bad. Hazret, the jackal-head, puppy-headed dog. So you had all 5 of those guys fighting against those 3, and everything's going just terrible. And then Bantu winds up betraying them, and getting killed personally by Bolas. All sorts of stuff's going down, and by the end of it, while the Scorpion God is defeated by Samut, like jumping through his chest, all that's left is Hazret, and she's got like half an arm, or at least half a set of arms. And so the other 4 gods were destroyed, they were killed. Ronus, Bantu, Ketra, and Kefnet. But, turns out, those 4 gods were not completely defeated. They were simply transformed by the Scarab God. That is what is coming through the portal. The 4 God Eternals. And the book does not do them justice. The book does not give them the proper amount of magnitude that they deserve, because these things are gargantuan. They are just corruptions of all that is good, and just like when you see them, the presence that they have, the presence needs to be noted because it's just so encroaching, so powerful. These magnificent beasts. Oketra can shoot arrows that are the size of javelins. Bantu is an alligator that you literally just clamp his jaws around entire crowds and devour them. Ronus, his mere touch can kill. And then you have Kefnet in the air, striking people down with magic. It's like these are apocalyptic beings, and this is how they're brought in. Let me get back to the book. Bantu, Amonkhet's immense god of ambition, who had been killed by Bolas during an hour of pure devastation when that planet fallen. Only now she had been resurrected as a Lazatep-covered god eternal, and she wasn't alone. Kefnet followed, then Oketra, and finally Ronus. All dead, all eternal, all as big as Vitu-Ghazi. All 4 of the gods surround Vitu-Ghazi, which is basically the god of this realm of Ravnica, the Selesnyan god. And they rip her apart. They completely destroy the tree, and it's like, well, snap. The tree is dead, and that's not going to look good with Nisa as far as the Selesnyans are concerned. But that's kind of like their big like reveal to show how powerful they are. Is that all 4 of them gang up on a tree and rip it apart. I feel like there was so much more. The Parhelion was flying there. Kefnet and Oketra could have taken that down like nothing, but they don't. Not yet. It's not done. It doesn't happen. And I felt like there's just so much more that they could have put there. There's just so much more that these characters can do. And it just seemed kind of squandered at that point. So, we got chapter 26, Teo Varada. Of course, it's back to Teo. And Teo is basically just like learning about this world and how insane it is. And he's like, "What's a like?" She says, "You've never seen Vidalcan? I know people with black skin, brown skin, tawny skin, tan skin, but never somebody with blue skin." And like, it's cool because it's his world is very different. It's much more, I would say, plain, more plain of a plane. But here, everything is just like it's a culture shock, and he's having to also deal with a war going on at the same time. It's great. Then two planeswalkers appear, Huatli and Saheeli, and they're together because they're. Earlier, Huatli had gone to Kaladesh because it's super cool and there's gold and stuff all over the place, and now the Huatli thing was learning about new things. Saheeli could learn about dinosaurs from Huatli, so like it makes sense that they're best friends. But they show up and they're like, "What's going on?" They tell them what's going on. They're like, "Cool, okay, let's do it." Basically, all of the different characters they join, like you have the Azet there, you have the Gruul, you have some Simic Biomancers. Everybody's kind of like understands that they need to work as a team. And like I think I just said, the Azet, the Gruul, and the Simic, and together they form Teamer colors, which is really cool, red, blue, green. But they're all working together, and they're going towards a common goal of getting rid of the Eternals. So they see the whole thing happening with the giant tree, and then the God Eternals ripping the tree apart, and everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, no, why, no, why, no, no." And Domri's response is, "Oi, yeah!" And he's super excited about it. Like it says right here, he's running away. He goes, "Help's on the way, dragon. We'll knock them all down together." And like it's like, Domri, you're an imbecile. Why would you do that? Don't do that. He's a deadly dragon. Why does he care about you? And that's how this chapter ends. Running towards Nicol running towards certain doom because he thinks it's a good idea. So you got the God Eternals, you got Vitu-Ghazi taken down, and you're going to find out what Bolas's plan is in the next episode. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Until then, travel well.